Look, if I'm Disney, I don't know if I want to fight this war. I think I want to make my money, make my advertising. I just don't see the financial benefit to keep going down this route. The only thing that I can imagine, though, is that if the institutional investors of Disney tell the board, no, we're going to draw a line in the sand. Disney is patient zero of woke DEI in corporate America. Disney, as we have covered extensively, is the most important family brand, or has been, and ABC and Disney have been the most important family brands culturally for dating back decades. And so when BlackRock and all these other DEI leftist woke heads decided to go after company Disney, well, that's patient zero.
Here's the other thing. Disney DEI practices are now under investigation. Now, we covered this earlier in the week and last weekend by Trump-appointed FCC Chairman Brendan Carr. The Federal Communications Commission has officially launched an investigation into the Walt Disney Company and its ABC News unit, signaling a new phase of regulatory scrutiny over corporate diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI programs. The probe, initiated under the leadership of newly appointed Chairman Brendan Carr, is part of a broader federal effort stemming from executive orders signed by President Donald Trump. A letter dated Friday from Carr, Disney CEO Bob Iger, at the FCC informed Disney that it intends to examine whether Disney's DEI initiatives comply with federal equal employment and opportunity regulations. Specifically, the letter raised concerns about whether certain DEI policies at Disney and ABC may constitute invidious discrimination in violation of FCC rules. We are reviewing the FCC Commission's, or the FCC letter, and we look forward to engaging with the Commission to answer its questions, a Disney spokesperson told CNBC in response to the announcement. Another rando Disney spokesperson. The investigation follows a similar inquiry launched in early February into Comcast and NBC Universal. Under the January executive order, each federal agency was instructed to, quote, identify up to 9 potential civil compliance investigations into publicly traded companies, nonprofits, and other entities, including universities and government contractors. Now, what's interesting to me about this, gentleman, is that 9 is not a big number in the grand scheme of things. 9 is a very small number. 9 is infinitesimal. 9 is less than 2% of the entire S&P 500. And of course, that doesn't even calculate in the expansion of the possible net that was cast with NGOs and nonprofits. And yet somehow, I wonder, the Walt Disney Company was clearly at the top of this list. Mexican Iron Man, you have been a Disney shareholder, sadly, for a number of years.
Wow. Thanks for the adjective. That was great.
Sadly, incoming now is a new set of federal investigations with teeth, because the Federal Communications Commission, while it doesn't have any jurisdiction over cable broadcast things or streaming, it's not going to be able to affect Disney from the standpoint of Disney Plus. It can't affect Disney from the standpoint of ESPN. However, ABC is still an advertising and revenue-generating juggernaut for the Walt Disney Company that is tacitly connected to ABC with its coalescence of sports broadcasts. Mike, what's the impact here for Disney with this kind of scrutiny?
Well, let's go with the backdrop of this. There are a whole bunch of companies that aren't just Disney that have done this kind of thing. It's not just Disney, but the fact that they're being targeted specifically is a foot and mouth moment. I mean, this is what happens when you put yourself out there. And I think the constant pounding by ABC, the constant pounding by ESPN on the DEI stuff, the constant pounding across the board with all of its broadcast networks put itself in this position to where it's going to get reviewed. And here's the thing. If I were Disney and I weren't already chilling out, and we know that they're not really chilling out. We just heard the board meeting where they had a proposal on the table where they could walk themselves back from some of their, agenda type of stuff. The board flat out said, no, we're not going to vote for that. Remember, you covered that in your earnings call.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this DEI stuff, which is a hot button, I think they at least have to give the appearances that they're pulling back one way or the other. If not, they're setting themselves up for a war. And I don't know if look, if I'm Disney, I don't know if I want to fight this war. I think I want to make my money, make my advertising. I just don't see the financial benefit to keep going down this route. The only thing that I can imagine, though, is that if the institutional investors of Disney tell the board, no, we're going to draw a line in the sand, because as we've discussed on this channel many times, Disney is patient zero of woke DEI in corporate America. Disney, as we have covered extensively, is the most important family brand, or has been, and ABC and Disney have been the most important family brands culturally for dating back decades. And so when BlackRock and all these other DEI leftist woke heads decided to go after company Disney, well, that's patient zero. So one of two things, if they're smart, they'll pull back. But then we know they're not smart. And we know that how important Disney is for this globalist agenda. And I don't believe that their institutional investors are going to back down. So I think that a lot of fireworks, I think with 4th of July around the corner, we've got some fireworks ahead of us, and this is not going away anytime soon.
No, I tend to agree. And to be even more succinct on this one, in the FCC filing, in the letter sent to Disney, our own, that parkplace.com was cited as a reference right there in the letter from Chairman Carr. But right there at the bottom in that blue box, that is it. And this is the point. I continue to make this point for the Renegade Nation, for you guys to understand this. And the reason why that I pull, and I'm going to do this again right now. Oh, Valiant, you're so full of your own shit. I don't care. I want people to understand the impact that we are having on the conversation, not just from a cultural standpoint. We've got a lot of great friends out there on YouTube that do absolute exquisite work from the cultural zeitgeist perspective. We've got friends out there like Neurotic and Geeks and Gamers and Echo Base Network and That Park Place and Pro and all these guys out there. Midnight's Edge, we can go on and on and on. They do great work. We're punching Disney's balls from a financial side of things. And the fact that we keep seeing people like this channel, the Valiant Renegade, the Renegade Nation, people like That Park Place continuously getting cited. Things like this that we played earlier in the show and on the video today, this is what's making a difference. Even though it doesn't seem like we're moving the needle, it is a very slow needle move, but the needle is moving.
Is Mickey Mouse about to lose his house? It seems woke Disney fairy tales equal low ticket sales. Box office analysis of Disney's last 8 studio releases show a shocking loss of nearly $1 billion. That's almost a lawsuit. That's according to a number crunch by prominent YouTuber Valiant Renegade, who argues that many of Disney's recent so-called hits barely broke even or flat out tanked.
That was the summer of 2023. And here we are, spring of 25. I'm hoping to see more of this because what we had up a moment ago, like this is telling you that we have continued to move the needle. I got on YouTube to start something, and we have started something. And this guy sitting right above me in this frame, Mexican Iron Man, this is the guy that said early on, dude, Valiant, you got something here. And he wasn't the only one, to be fair. I've had a lot of other great friends out there, like my bros from Echo Base Network, Coach and Nick. They have been... those are ride or die guys. And if you guys aren't subscribed to Echo Base Network, I think the best Star Wars fan channel in existence out there, then you're missing the boat. Guys like Midnight's Edge, Tom, who was here earlier, my brother Andre out there who runs that channel, and many, many, many more. So many more than I can possibly think of. But we've had a lot of great friends, and they've believed in me since I started. You guys out there in the chat have believed in me. And I've dragged in other crazy assholes like this guy down here, Pro, kicking and screaming. You really think I could do YouTube? Yeah, you can probably do YouTube. You'll pass me up in like a year and a half. Oh, he dead. Another
Only
valiant.
because I have an inordinate amount of time to dedicate to this, whereas you're still
Right.
working the 9 to 5.
No, that's it. I give Pro a lot of crap. But here's the thing. Pro's doing it full time. I'm not. And I'm glad he's here doing it. He does a great, great job. This is why you guys need to follow guys like Pro. Follow that Park Place. Check out the website every day. Make sure you're checking out other channels like Nerdrotic and Geeks and Gamers. These guys brought me into this. They said, hey, Valiant, we think you got a voice. We think you can do it. And people like Mike really helped me along when I got in here. And we want more people to come in. We want more people to do this because this is what has moved the needle. The reason that Disney is feeling the heat, the reason that some stupid little, small town suburban financial planner like Valiant Renegade managed to get mentioned on Greg Gutfeld on Fox News is because of you.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.